Calisthenics. Just kidding. Of course, that's not it. Resident Evil 2 speedrunning. Okay, Resident Evil 2. It's a really fucking good game, right? Been playing a lot of it during quarantine. Specifically, I've been speedrunning it. You don't know, speedrunning is the act of playing a game as fast as possible. There's a lot more to it than you might think. You have to know the game inside and out. You have to know where every single enemy is, what every single enemy is going to do, depending on what you do, when to pick up this item, when to leave this item for later. As you know, you can play as two different characters, Claire and Leon, and they affect each other in different ways depending on the order that you play them. Personally, I think Claire B, playing Claire second, is the easiest of all of 4 runs. So I'm going to be focusing on that one because I think it's a good place to start. I'm going to be going over high level concepts. I'm not going to be getting down and dirty as far as like, okay, you go here, then you go here, then you go here, you go here, do that, because you don't want to listen to that. And there's also like 1,000 fucking guides on it anyway. Okay, first, let's talk about routing. Routing is just literally the path you take throughout the game. Resident Evil just drops you into a big scary map full of monsters and items and lets you run around getting bit by zombies and picking up ammo in whichever path you want. But in speedrunning, you need to have the most efficient route possible. You don't want to be running back and forth. You don't want to be picking up items and then having to run back to the safe room to drop them off because you have limited inventory space. You want to be able to take a route that gets you all the items that you need and lets you circle back to a safe room as efficiently and quickly as possible. So let's take an example in the sewers area. Now, in your first playthrough, you might have spent 1 or even 2 hours in the sewers, just running around through the maze of water with the big scary G-adult monsters. But having played the game a lot of times, you can figure out a way to complete the sewers in less than like 5 minutes. So what you do, starting from the safe area, you need to get 3 chess pieces, right, to unlock the door to progress. So coming from the safe area, you run and you grab the T-bar handle, and then you run down these stairs. Now, since you just grabbed the T-bar handle, you might be tempted to go to the right to unlock the gate you saw earlier, which would take you to the workers elevator and then up into the upper sewers area. But if you do that, you're going to run into 2 locked doors and a chess piece. Now you can grab that chess piece and save it for later, but one of those locked doors has a hip pouch upgrade, which you're really going to need for later. So the most efficient route is instead to go to the left here, run around the path, grab the sewers key, head down the ladder, go to the supply room, grab the 2 chess pieces that are in there, as well as the spark shot, because that's one of the more powerful weapons that Claire has. Then run back the way you came, go down the stairs, go to the right now, open up the gate, take the workers elevator, go up, grab the hip pouch and the last chess piece, and then just go back the way you came into the safe area. You never had to run back to drop off items, and now that's it. That's all you have to do for the sewers area. So you can see how having efficient routing will infinitely decrease the amount of time it takes to complete a run. Okay, now we're going to talk about enemies and some general tips on how to avoid them. Most of the time you're just dealing with normal zombies, and if you have a handgun, which you only really have on an A scenario, you just pop a zombie right in the head. Usually it just takes 1 shot and they're going to be stunned. You can run right past. But that's kind of a temporary solution because they're only stunned for about 5 seconds before they go back to normal. But in B scenarios, you're going to have high caliber handgun ammo. And Claire, on her B scenario, gets the Colt Action Army, which is a fucking badass gun. And with high caliber pistol bullets, what you want to do instead is shoot a zombie in the leg, because it'll generally only take 2 shots to just blow their leg off. And now they're crawling on the ground, and they're much easier to avoid if you ever have to come back through that area. But to be even more efficient, specifically for Claire B, you don't want to use the Colt Action Army on zombies. As soon as you get the grenade launcher, you want to use flame rounds on zombies because it's just faster, and they're gone forever. It just straight up kills them in 1 shot. Now that may seem like a waste of powerful ammo, but that Colt Action Army is so powerful that it's going to get you through the first 2 bosses in the game, no problem, as long as you save up your ammo. Another note on zombies, there's actually a hidden mechanic that the game never tells you about, where if a zombie grabs you from the side, you can push the analog stick to the opposite side of where they grabbed you from and escape it. So if they grab you on the right side, you push to the left and you can escape the grab. Now, this is nice, but it's not something you should plan on using. For one, it's kind of finicky. The zombie has to grab you at a pretty specific angle, and you have to do the input really quick. And you should never really plan on getting grabbed. because it means you already fucked up and you might as well just restart the run anyway. You never have to learn how to pull out if you just wear a condom. Okay, we'll just do some general tips on the rest of the enemies. G adults. They're kind of scary at first, and they seem like they're really fucking hard to avoid. But you just back up from them, bait them into doing their little flop attack. You can run right past them. If you have extra ammo to spare, you can shoot them in the shoulder, and that'll actually reveal a giant eye, just like Birkin has. And that's their weak spot. It only takes a few shots in there to stun them or even just kill them. All right, zombie dogs. These motherfuckers, it's kind of a meme in Resident Evil speedrunning that in all of the games, dogs will fuck up your speedrun every time. But as Claire B, when you go to the back streets of Raccoon City, make sure you bring your Uzi with you, because that's generally the most efficient way to deal with them. And you really just shoot them. But if your run gets ruined by one of the dogs, don't worry, you're not the only one. Vines. These guys are really scary because they can kill you in one hit, but they function basically just like zombies. You deal with them the same way, you pop them in the leg, but you need to be a little more precise because you need to hit those little orange bulbs to actually stun them. Or you can just use a grenade launcher like you've been doing on normal zombies anyway. Lickers. Now these guys are basically there to trip up new players because they seem terrifying. They're fast, they run faster than you're sprinting, they hit really fucking hard, and they're just creepy looking. But since they can't see you, they don't actually aggro onto you unless you sprint or you touch them. And it's pretty easy to do neither of those things. So as long as you know that a licker is going to be in this room, all you have to do is just walk. Okay, now I just want to do a few general tips as well as philosophy on speedrunning. A lot of this can apply to any game. Speedrunning is a really fucking weird activity. It's extremely frustrating because if you fuck up, in the case of Resident Evil, that's an hour to 2 hours of progress just gone. It requires a shitload of patience. And you just have to accept the fact that it's going to be repetitive and frustrating. As far as routing, I'd recommend chunking out the game. So first you memorize the police station, then the sewers, then the labs. It's a lot easier to hold those individual parts in your head rather than the whole thing starting out. It's not going to work if you try that. Speaking of starting out, you're not getting anywhere near a world record for a long time. My personal best time on Claire B is 2 hours and 19 minutes, and the world record is 46 minutes. So I have a long fucking way to go, and I've been doing this a lot. I would recommend watching all of Carcinogen's videos. The man is a walking fucking encyclopedia on Resident Evil. And I would recommend watching any Resident Evil 2 GDQ speedrun. Those guys really know what they're doing. And finally, try to remember you're doing this for fun. Doesn't always feel like it. But the rewards you get for beating your personal time is better than heroin. That's it. Cool. Well, that was 2 hours of me talking about some nerd shit that no one cares about. Pretty average day for me.